Hi everybody, hope you're keeping well, hope you're keeping safe. Now you may recall a few videos ago I completed a review on the Jackery Explorer 240, which was a small portable power station and well, provided mains voltage, 12 volt output and a means for you to recharge your phone via USB, all contained within a handy little container. Now in that video I stated it wouldn't boil your kettle, it wouldn't use your microwave, you certainly couldn't use an air conditioning unit, and highly probable you wouldn't be able to use a hairdryer either. I also said I wouldn't buy it and I wouldn't go out and purchase one. Instead, I would opt for the 500 watt version, which I did, and I completed a write-up on how I use it and how I found it. And if you're interested in that, well, pop over to our website and have a read. Now, since that review, Jackery have been in contact and they said, hey Dan, would you like to try out our 1000 watt version, complete with a couple of solar panels as part of our package deal that we're promoting at the moment? Because 1000 watts gives you so much more power, and with a lot of power means you've got a lot more probable use of it in and around the caravan, or indeed when you're off grid. So I've popped up here today, I've plugged it into the caravan, I've bored the kettle, I've sat down, it's the world's hottest day, so you know what, I might even put the air conditioning on in a minute, all of which can be run from the Jackery Explorer 1000. So let's take a closer look at this portable power station. First up, the physical size. It measures up as 23 centimeters width, 33 centimeters in length and 28 centimeters in height. Its weight is 10 kilograms, but more on this in a moment. On the front panel we have two pure sine wave 230 volt outlets, a 12 volt 10 amp output and 4 USB sockets. Now these USB sockets have the welcome addition of two USB-C and two quick charge outlets as well. Above the outputs are two charging inputs, one port for included 12 volt charger or the 230 volt mains charger, and next to this barrel socket is an input to allow two solar panels to be connected in parallel. This connection is achieved via a splitter that's also included with the Jackery. The display is the same as the 240 and the 500 Explorers, which is clear and informative. It shows the level of charge, the power going in and its power consumption. On the side of the handle there is also a light, which if you press and hold it will also flash out SOS, much to the amusement of anybody who can read it. But that's about it. That's what you get for 1000 watts of power. But that's not the whole story. As mentioned, it provides a kilowatt of power. It does in fact have 1002 watt hours of capacity, which is enough to power a few high consumption devices. We've run our air conditioning in the caravan whilst in storage, used the kettle when off grid, and also used our carpet cleaner to clean the upholstery, again whilst in storage. But it's not the few big ticket items that make this an excellent off-grid companion. Just check out what you can realistically run and recharge from this device. You can charge a phone over 100 times, a laptop 12 times, use an LED light for 76 hours, a 60 watt mini fridge for 66 hours, and run an electric pressure cooker for 45 minutes. But away from the marketing material and in the real world, I used our Truma air conditioning for 90 minutes in the height of summer. The Instant Pot we ran for 30 minutes, the carpet cleaner for half an hour, and the kettle was run at least 4 or 5 times whilst we were away with friends. Using the Jackery this way didn't flatten the internal batteries fully, and it still retained some small amount of charge. The Jackery can be recharged either via a mains laptop style charger, a 12 volt supply, or with solar panels. With the two 100 watt solar panels included as part of the Solar Generator 1000 bundle, you can realistically recharge the Jackery in about 8 hours, in moderately sunny weather. Now a close look at these panels show that they have two USB outlets held at the back of the panel, which makes it super convenient if you just want to add some charge to a phone or a tablet. The panels are fabric backed and are IP65 water resistant. They're not waterproof. Now I think this is a real shame, as I'd like to leave these outside, pegged out to the floor whilst you're on site, but in wet British weather this just won't be possible. Now you may think to yourself, well, that's great, 200 watt panels wired in together, you're going to get 200 watts of possible rechargeability, if that is such a word, into the Jackery. Well, that's not strictly true. You see, in all the tests that I've been doing over the summer, and I've been extensively testing this thing, in bright sunlight, bright days, not a cloud in the sky, the panels bright and clean and looking straight at the sun, the maximum charge rate I could get out of them was 120 watts. I don't think that's a limit of the solar panels, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's a limit of the splitter, which you get with the Jackery 1000. I think it's a limit to the recharging of the actual batteries inside the Jackery itself. So be wary that if you do get this set up, you're not going to get 200 watts of recharging from it. Now this Jackery is 10 kilos in weight. which is deemed light enough to be considered portable, but heavy enough for you to know that if you're carrying it anywhere, you're going to know it's pretty heavy. So one of the great accessories that Jackery do sell, in fact, is a carry bag for it. In the top, you can keep all your cables and your connections, etc. And in the bottom, obviously, the Jackery will fit into it. And when it's not in use, fill it up with food. We've been using it this year, in fact, as a cool bag when we were loading up the caravan for our holidays earlier this summer. And it works really well, in fact. A couple of freezer blocks in there, and you wouldn't know any difference. So everything is rosy, everything is fine. You may think to yourself, this is a great video, but there is a problem with this Jackery Explorer 1000. And I hope you're sitting down for this, because there's no easy way to say it. It's the price. It's £1,000. It's about £1 per watt, depending on what product you look to get off of the Jackery lineup. So the 240 is about 240 quid, the 500, obviously you can work the maths out yourself. But £1,000 is a lot of money for a portable power station. So if you need it, you're going to have to justify £1,000 on your spending budget. But here's the thing, what else could we buy at £1,000 which would power the caravan up here? Well, obviously a generator, right? Let's have a look and see if we can find a generator right now. So I've had a good search and I've found a Clark IG2200A suitcase petrol generator, which has the power rating of 2.2 kilowatts. Like the Jackery, it has pure sine wave output, which is important when using delicate equipment such as laptops. The generator provides two 230 volt outputs, a 12 volt DC output rated at 8.3 amps, however there are no USB sockets, but that's okay because there are plenty of ways of hooking up a USB socket either by using a plug-in charger or a 12 volt adapter. Either way, this generator will provide twice the power as the Jackery, it's about half the price, and as long as you have enough fuel, it will keep going for as long as you need it. However, there is a trade-off. It's noisy and heavy. It weighs nearly 27 kilograms without fuel, and the volume when it's running is 60 decibels at a 7 meter distance. So wouldn't this generator be a better solution than that of the Jackery? It's a good 7 months since I recorded that video, and it's taken me 3 attempts to record this conclusion. And the reason why I'm so split is because comparing a generator to a Jackery is a little bit comparing apples to pears. They both offer the same thing, they're both fruit, but you know, they're both different. And that's the same with the Jackery and a generator. They both provide power, they do it in very different ways. Both have got positives, both have got negatives. So let's do this one thing. Let's compare them on an equal footing. Let's assume that today the Jackery and the generator are both exactly the same price. Let's assume they both offer the same physical output. Let's say they're both 1000 watts, a kilowatt of output. Which one would I be more inclined to use? Well, you've got to establish how we use the Jackery. We take it to the caravan and we plug it in and we use it for whatever needs 230 volt output or whatever needs a quick recharge on the 12 volt system. Very rarely would we take something like that away with us when we're off grid, because being in a caravan, it's already ready for off-grid camping. We've got everything we need. Our heating, our hot water, our fridge is all supplied by gas. All the systems in the caravan are run by 12 volt, which is recharged by our solar panel on the roof. So realistically, we have very little need for a portable power solution in the caravan. That being said, it has been incredibly useful when we've been out and about. Where I've used it the most is when I'm working, when I'm filming. I use it to power up caravans. I did that when I was filming a lot of caravans last year, just before Christmas in fact. I used it to power up every single caravan in a 7 caravan lineup. And it was great. I was able to switch on all the lights and be able to use it. When we're away off grid, we just don't need 230 volts. But because it's quite light and because it doesn't smell, I can put it in the boot of the car and leave it there, and if we do need it, I can pull it out. It's very handy to have something like that that I can power up using nothing else other than batteries. If we had a generator, would I find it any better having a generator? Well, I certainly wouldn't put it in the boot of the car and leave it in the car. I've owned generators in the past. They all smell. They're also heavier than a Jackery, a lot heavier in fact, depending on what model that you go for. And they do make a lot of noise. I certainly would never take a generator with me if I was off grid. Our neighbours would absolutely detest us running a generator for whatever reason we needed to. So the $64 million question, which one would I go for, generator or Jackery? Well, for my needs and my circumstances, it would be a Jackery, and that's only because of the way that we need it in and around the caravan, or don't need it, so to speak. But that's only my circumstances. It may be completely different for you guys, which I suspect it will be. So I'll be really interested to know your comments and your thoughts down below. But that's it from me today. Many thanks for watching. A huge thank you, by the way, to Jackery, who sent this over for review. It is a fair chunk of cash, as I'm sure I've already discussed with you. So a huge thank you to them for sending it over for review. But like I said, that's it from me today. Please do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon as well. And if you can do all that, then we'll see you in the next video. Many thanks for watching, guys. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.